this is a milestone birthday. I can either one, go on a trip out of the country somewhere like I want to, or two, do this party. And I figured, okay, with two, I'd be investing in my brand. Also, it's the first concert that I threw myself. Sold tickets for, to get an audience. It was the first event that I did. So I was able to see, okay, what kind of audience I actually pull in, what kind of numbers I can actually do. And I was able to pay for my band and everything and pay for the things that I needed just off of the sales. So it was just like I needed as an artist to do something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll choose the party. It was Jynn Cole's 40th birthday extravaganza.
Okay, I never know. And ideally, I don't use the video, but I'm trying to start using little clips. So it's a chance I may use it, but for the most part, it's all audio. So
Okay.
Hello, beautiful. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
Bring it back.
All right. Hello, beautiful people. How your spirit doing? Welcome back to another episode of Peace Talk. And actually, we're changing the name of the podcast. This season has really proved to me that I want to just continue to talk to people. So we're changing the podcast to Peace Talks with Friends. And I'm just going to continue this incredible lineup of guests that I've had. This next young lady, and I'm really excited to kind of talk about your musical journey, but I want to let you go ahead and introduce yourself and share whatever you want to with the listeners that you think is important for them to know off jump.
Okay. Well, hello world. My name is Jynn Cole. I am a singer, songwriter, artist, recording artist, actress, all that bunched up into one body. I create music for people that just want to relive their life experiences. Like I write about what my life experiences are. So if you can relate to that, you're my people. And I want to give you a nice groove to move to. So that's what I do with my music. I want to take you somewhere. But that's me.
When did you start singing? I don't. So this is another classmate of mine from Cass Technical High School. We graduated in 2003, and I've actually had two other classmates on, and there's been just this interesting, evolution of the last 20 years of us, who we were and who we are. And I didn't know that you really was into music like you are. So when did you start singing, and when did you like, hey, I really want to pursue this?
Okay, so it's crazy because like I had been in church singing, but not like for real, for real. And my mother had been telling me for years, like, "Oh, you can sing," because she's a singer. So she's like, "Oh, you can sing, you can sing." I didn't believe it. I didn't have any faith in it whatsoever. I didn't actually start singing until I was kind of forced to in the PA Guild. Well, I don't want to say force, but it was either you're gonna do a poem or you got to do something else, and you can't be corny. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna attempt to sing this song. And I remember, I think the first Sweetagram that I did, because for those of you that don't know, at Cass Tech, Sweetest Day and Valentine's Day, we do something called Sweetagrams, where you can pay for one of our members to show up and either sing you something. We can do a skit, we can do a poem or something. So I was doing a bunch of poems, and after a while, it got boring, and I was like, okay, let me at least put together a song. I remember the first class I sang to was this 11th grade chemistry class. I was in the 10th grade at the time. And I did all these poems. And then I finally got to the song. I remember it was a Michael Jackson song. And I sang the song and I didn't quite hit the note at the end. And everybody in the class laughed and they were like, "Stick to poems." And I was like, oh my God. That was the beginning of my singing career, apparently. But after that, it was like, well, this is just like first hour, and I still have like a whole another 6 hours to go. What am I gonna do? So I guess I just put it in myself that like, look, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna pay more attention and try to focus more on what we're doing, what we're breathing, and we'll get through the day. And then the next year, everybody was requesting me to do Sweetagram, so it was just like, okay, maybe I can kind of sing. Um, Throughout college, I had auditioned to go to different conservatories and things like that. And I ended up at Bowling Green. One of the members there had this performance she did every year. So she would ask people to come sing. So I came and I sang there. So I did a little singing in college, but I didn't get serious about it actually until after college when someone actually wanted to pay me to do it. And when I got to that point, I was like, oh, people are giving me money to do this now. Okay, I should probably take this seriously.
I love
Yep.
that. I've never been aware like as a comedian we get heckled all the time. Like there's people always want to. I didn't know singers get get heckled as well. Like
Yeah.
that's
And
that's
then
pretty.
Detroit audiences, yeah.
So let's stay with that. When did
Mhm.
you feel like, hey, I'm really great at this? Like when did it become a passion for you?
You know, I had always had a joy, like a secret joy in it, but I think the very first moment where I felt like, wow, this is what I want to do. After I came home from school, I did this gospel play called Church Girl. It was down at the music hall. Karen Clark Shears was in it, Angela Winbush, and Genuine. A few other people were in it, but there was this one scene at the end where it was like the choir. I wasn't even singing the solo. I was singing with the choir. It was the last scene. We were looking out at the crowd, and everybody was standing up, giving us a standing ovation. And we were on like the last note. And when I looked out there and just like saw how overwhelming everything was, that was the moment where I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to do this. This is what I'm built, what I'm supposed to be doing. Um, I had it that moment. And later on, when I went to Belgium, I went on tour with a friend and his band, and I just had a moment where I was on stage and I was just looking out at the audience. I'm like, I am in Belgium right now and I am singing and people are paying and clapping for me. Oh my God, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And just to see the effect that I had on people. Um, I'm like, and this isn't something to take lightly. Like this is a gift. Like, do you see what this is doing to people? Not trying to brag or anything, but like, people with gifts and talents, you don't know what that does for somebody else. So when I started realizing those moments, I was like, maybe this is something I'm supposed to be doing. So
That's really powerful. I really like that.
thank you.
I want to talk about the actual music. Let's start with this. You you have online a bunch of cover songs that you've done from her to Aretha Franklin, Rihanna. Like, what's more fun, doing popular songs that people know and can relate, or presenting your own music?
You know what? More fun. I mean, I have fun doing it all because in every song you become a character. So, but I feel more accomplished when I'm presenting my own material. I don't have to particularly be someone else or particularly sound like anybody else when it's my stuff. The excitement in it is more so, okay, what is my music doing to you? Are you moving? Are you feeling it? Are you bobbing your head? Are you, repeating my lyrics and repeating my phrases? What is this doing for you? So, for the most part, I would have to say my own music, I get more of I feel more accomplished if I do my own music. Covers are
Right.
fun. They're fun. You're at a wedding, you're singing, I don't know, Fergie or Aretha Franklin or something. I don't know. Like you're having a good time singing it. So it's like I can't take anything from that. I just get more out of doing my own music.
So let's talk about your own music. Your most recent single is solo, but you've released a few. I
Mhm.
remember listening to what's the honey what's
Honey
the honey
Fall.
one? Honey
Honey
Falls. Yes,
Fall.
that
Yeah.
one got me. I won't say off guard because again I'm a comedian, so I've heard it all. But I was listening and I'm like, oh, Jynn Cole. That's what we do it. It was very like it was deep. No no pun intended. Like like your first single is Boots. Is that correct? You released that
Yeah,
in
so yeah,
2021.
I did a cover, yeah, in
So that's
2021.
okay.
Yep, that was
So
covered, yeah.
my question is what are you trying to tell people, or what is the story that you're trying to tell people with each single that you put out?
So, and this kind of goes back to me putting the album together. I'm following pretty much a timeline of my maturity levels in love, um, and just like my experiences and like kind of what came from that. So once the album is put together, and I let you guys know a little bit more about that, you'll kind of see like the maturity levels of like being in love and not having a clue and everything's so fun, and then next thing you know, like things start to get a little tricky. things start to happen, you get hurt, you're guarded, and it kind of just goes through like that whole process. So really, I am just putting out my experiences. This is my own therapy. If when I go through things, I have a hard time expressing my feelings, so I choose to do it through that outlet. So this is really just like ways for me to get out my feelings and the stories of my life, and just hope that somebody else that's gone through that can relate to that. Or like with one of my songs I have out called "Limited Time," I wrote that song because I was going through a situationship that I shouldn't have been in, and it was just stupid for me to even be a part of it. And I know better, and I'm saying all this in the song. And I remember being at a performance, and a girl came up to me and she was like, "That song, I resonate with that song. I'm dealing with someone now. He's married, and I probably shouldn't be dealing with him." And I'm just sitting there like, "Wow, I mean, you you like the song?" Like, so yeah. But anything that people can pull from my music, I hope my music is relatable. I hope that it's something you can go to. Like with Limited Time, I'm saying, hopefully the words haunt you next time you think about trying to get into a situationship. Usually these are lessons to myself that hopefully you guys can pull from. So it's lessons to myself.
I want to talk about some of the big stages that you've been on. You've
Mhm,
done a ton of festivals,
mhm.
and one particular one that stood out to me is you were at the Charles Wright Museum for Juneteenth. Which
Yes.
my question is, so as a comedian, obviously there's this art, right, that you want to put out, and my job is to make people laugh. But when there's social issues or shit that I just care about, it's very hard for me not to incorporate that into my set and be on stage and talk. Do you ever feel like you have to keep them separate, that by being too, I don't know, like by being too vocal about certain issues, that will hurt you negatively professionally?
Not gonna lie and say that I haven't felt like that before. I think more so what I just try to do is, if what I'm talking about or what I'm singing about is relevant to something that's going on. Like even when I did the Juneteenth celebration, some of the song choices that I would pick kind of went along with the message I was trying to tell. And if it had anything to do with what was going on, we're still fighting. To this day, we're still fighting. That's what a lot of the song choices said. There's certain moments where I will take a moment and talk to the audience and get y'all riled up. Like if this is how I'm feeling, this is that moment, this is the spirit of it, this is what I'm going to communicate. So I will say, like, there is that genuine fear at the beginning, but I have to be pretty much, you just have to be clever with the moment, be clever with the timing. Like, is it the right time? Is it the right moment to say this? So I think just trying to find those balance within, because if you choose the wrong moment, you choose the wrong time, they're probably not going to receive it the way you wanted them to. So just finding moments to do that.
I love that. I 100% agree. I'm currently in rural Iowa, so just a lot of white people like everywhere,
Yeah, it's like the
and
whitest of
and
the white.
and a lot of gigs that I take are, they're sometimes they're small town, or they're small minded or conservative, or Trump, a lot of stuff. And I
Yeah.
always have these conversations, but when you've been doing it as long as I've been doing it for almost 15 years, you sort of make those conversations with yourself, like, is it worth it? And 9 times out of 10, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Another big stage that you did, and I don't even know if it's a big stage, it's really just a court, but you got a chance to sing the national anthem for the Detroit Pistons. I don't know how many times you've done it. I thought it was at least twice.
Yep, twice. Yeah.
And like, that's major like, that's fucking major to me. And I don't
Thank
know
you.
where your ceiling is as far as like when you did it, you were like, wow, like take me to like getting that opportunity and how you felt performing and then after.
Man, that was probably another moment where I felt like this is it. This is what it's about. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous at first. The first experience, I loved it the first time. I mean, I loved it both times, but that first experience was just something else. They treated me really well. I remember when it was finally time, no, when we were doing the rehearsal and I sang, I had some people that were kind of warming up, they were clapping and stuff. But, I didn't think too much about it. But when it was finally time to go up, I heard him say my name and I saw my name up on the thing. And just going out there is more so I just had to keep talking to myself. So it was almost to the point where like I didn't hear anything else but my thoughts talking to me. It's like, you got this, take a breath, think about that song, think about each word, think about each moment, but do it in a timely fashion so they don't cut you off. Because my whole goal going into anything I do is to make you feel something. So that was my goal when I sang it, is to make you feel something. And I remember even like one part of the song where I just held a note a little bit longer and I even felt like a vibration. And I noticed that's when the crowd kind of went like, ah. So just being in the midst of all that, it's like, oh my God, like these are like, I don't know how many people, but it's like 20,000 people here tonight. And they're all listening to me. And then, looking through the video and seeing the players, like how they were looking and everything. It was just an awesome moment. It's like, this is it. Like, this is what it's about. So yeah. It was a great time.
So how was that next day for you, and what was the reception from your family and friends? Like, what was that feedback?
Man, one of my best friends, she was there, and we had some of our friends there, and they were like recording it, and like she's screaming through half the video. But like it was funny too because just to see like the amount of support that I was getting, and then the people that saw it or that were there that were posting videos, and I even got a gig at it was a Ford. It was for Ford. They were doing something for Black History Month. And the lady just so happened to be sitting in the audience, heard me sing, saw my name, looked up my information, and found me. And I ended up getting that gig at Ford. So that was another good thing that came from that experience. But, everybody was just uber supportive, uber supportive. So, but yeah, I loved it.
All right, so I hate to do this, okay? You recently turned 40, and I know it was an incredible celebration,
Uh-huh.
but I want to know, like, how did you feel about turning 40? That this is our year, and now
Yeah.
we're in our 40s, and because I turned, my birthday was way back in March, and
Hmm.
there was something that changed. I don't know, like I'm one of those people that like getting older. Like I feel like it's a blessing, and
Hmm.
I love, like I embrace that. Like what
Hmm.
was your thoughts leading up to it, non-celebration? And then I do want to talk about your actual event.
So I didn't think about it a lot. I guess I tried not to think about it too much. When I do remember that I'm 40, it usually comes in waves. It's like, for the for the most part, it's like, oh, I'm 40. I'm still healthy. I still look good. I'm not the 40 a bad 40. So it's like I don't know, like I feel good. A part of me is kind of like, wow, I'm not in my 30s anymore. But at the same time, I think we're so, because I felt this way even at 30. I still feel young. I'm still wise enough to not do stupid things anymore. Like I'm learning from my experiences. I'm appreciating myself, learning more about myself. So it's like to hit this milestone now and to come in on such a good note, I don't feel bad about it. And I feel like, okay, with that momentum, it can only get better. So yeah, I did have my moments like, oh my God, you're 40, because I work with people and they're like 27 and 25 and we hanging together. And I'm like, wait, I'm 40 hanging with y'all. Like, you're 25. Like, what?
I would feel that way sometimes when I'm doing comedy, and there's this new wave of comedians that like, hey,
Yeah.
we want to go out drinking, and I'm like, I'm not. That's not where I'm at anymore. So I definitely understand that
Yeah.
feeling. Okay, so take me
You got to
take me
remind
to the
yourself.
event. You had an incredible cheetah like what dress. Was that a dress that I was looking
Yes.
at? Like
Yes. I had
it
a,
seemed like some of these events that you're doing, and some of like your outfits or your it's like an award show. Like it seems so theatrical.
thank
Like
you.
how did you put it together, and like what was tell me about the event.
So the event, it was it originally was supposed to be the album release, but I'm still working on some stuff with that. So we just turned it into, okay, it's Jynn Cole's 40th birthday extravaganza. So the choice I had this year, I'm like, this is a milestone birthday. I can either one, go on a trip out of the country somewhere like I want to, or two, do this party. And I figured, okay, with two, I'd be investing in my brand. Also, it's the first concert that I threw myself. Sold tickets for, to get an audience. It was the first event that I did. So I was able to see, okay, what kind of audience I actually pull in, what kind of numbers I can actually do. And I was able to pay for my band and everything and pay for the things that I needed just off of the sales. So it was just like I needed as an artist to do something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll choose the party. So it was Jynn Cole's 40th birthday extravaganza. So as you know, and I've talked about it before, I'm a Leo. So, we're into the whole lions and cheetah print and jungle and all that stuff. So I wanted the dress code to be like jungle chic. I know that doesn't sound like anything, but all that means is just wear some animal print. That's all it meant. Just wear animal print. So I figured with me, the most obvious animal print I would go with would be cheetah. So like I was scourging the internet for like cheetah print dresses. Then I found the dress and I started working with the stylist, and she was like, "Well, you should have a change of clothes." I was like, "Okay." With something that's like bold and a color that's like very statement esque. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do red. So that's kind of how I came up with it. But what's funny is after my party, I went online. I saw that Michelle Williams, who I didn't know was a Leo, but she is from Destiny's Child, she did a photo shoot where she had on leopard print. And then the next one she had on all red. And I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, it's a Leo thing going on here. I see it. And then one of our classmates, Erica, who's a Leo, she did a whole photo shoot where she had cheetah print on, and I was like, okay, it's passing along. But but yeah, so I was like, all right. But yeah, the party was nice. So I hired my band, Gin and Juice Band. So we performed at the event. I had like gift bags. I was selling fans with my logo on it. I had two signature drinks. The first one was called Queen of the Night because that was the first song I walked out on. And the second was called the Gin and Juice. So I had signature drinks. We had taco bachis come in and they did hibachi and tacos. They ended up selling out of food that night. The turnout was really good. Like we had standing room, the bar almost couldn't keep up, and so it was just a really, really pleasant experience. And then at the end of it, my band just stayed on stage. And then any other musicians that were in the crowd, they decided to get up. And next thing you know, there's a saxophone player on stage. And I freaked out at first because I'm like, I didn't hire a saxophone player. Who is this? But just random, like people that I knew that are musicians in the city, the Detroit musicians came and they showed up and they showed out. It was just overall a beautiful event.
I,
So
I like the idea that he brought his own saxophone. Like this, like this is gonna
he
be a moment
did.
where I'm gonna get on
And there were
stage.
two of them on stage, like going at it. And I'm like, I didn't hire none of y'all, but go ahead. Like,
I
go
we're out of time, but there's two things I want to get to. I want you to talk about Juice Band and how that collaboration happened, because I think a lot of people like, hey, I want to be a music, I want to be a musician. Like you started as a solo singer. Like how
Mhm.
did that like when a, when in the timeline did you feel like, okay, now it's time for me to actually invest, have a band, and make a whole full production?
So that happened by chance. It started out with like me and my brother when I would be asked as, Jynn Cole, the artist, to go perform my own music. I needed, a band to play it for me. So at first it was my brother and a track. Then if he wasn't available, I would have like another musician come in. Then I started getting invited to bigger events. But these bigger events, most of the time people are playing covers. I've been in a cover band for like over 10 years now. So I kind of know how to like work that scene, but squeeze my songs in there as well. So that's kind of what it became. So like as it kept going, I started adding more members and, pretty much trial and error with different members to where we finally formed the band. At first I called it the Jynn Cole Band, but then I decided to go with Gin and Juice because years ago I wanted people to call me Gin and Juice, and somebody was like, "You're never gonna get people to call you that. Like, you can't make up your own nickname." And I was like, you know what? The name of my band is gonna be Gin and Juice because it's gin, they're the juice. There you go. So yeah. So
I
it
love
was
that.
like by mistake, but it was more so to play my own music, and then it became like a whole big thing. So I
Well, look,
love it.
I think a lot of flowers and congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
Part of doing the podcast and really switching gears of having a lot of guests on, and it's really been really like I really enjoyed watching people from afar and seeing a lot of
Mhm.
these accomplishments. And when you're in a field like we are, where there's a lot of chance and there's a lot of risk, but when you get to do the thing that you love, or the purpose, when you're fulfilling your purpose, it's a different, like it's a like I'm rooting differently. It's like I
Yeah.
understand some of those struggles that you're going through, so I clap a little bit louder when I'm seeing these victories play out in real time. My last question is just, what is your, give me your Mount Rushmore of singers, like, and maybe there are people that have actually inspired you in your music, but who was your top four?
So my top four, of course, the one and only Miss Whitney Houston. And it's crazy because I appreciate her more now since she's passed than I ever have. But yes, I love me some Whitney. Brandy, of course. Brandy, Whitney, Gladys Knight, Alanis Morissette, and my last one I would say Nancy Wilson.
I'm gonna be goddamn honest with you. I do not know who that is. Who is that?
Nancy Wilson,
Yeah.
she's a jazz singer from like I think the 50s. I don't know if you would know this song.
No,
You
I
probably
would
wouldn't know
not.
this song. Never mind. But I feel like she was Anita Baker's inspiration. And I love Anita Baker. Actually, that's what I was about to say. But I feel like she got a little bit of inspiration from Nancy Wilson. And the more I listened to Nancy Wilson, the more I fell in love with her. So I'm just like, you're in my top now. No
Listen,
offense
thank
to
you.
Anita. I love her. She's still up there.
Thank you for making time. This has been a really fun dialogue for me. Again, just kind of keeping up and hearing from you of how you've been doing. So, again, you can share as much as you want, but you have this album that you've been working on for quite some time, and you're looking at 2026 being the date. Is there
Yes.
anything that you want to let people know about the album as you lead up to it and what they can expect?
Well, you can expect pretty much that full out timeline I told you about of love. And I know a lot of the people can relate to that too, just like the maturity levels you go through when you're realizing what it actually is down to self love and self exploration. So that's the process, that the journey that it goes on. The name of the album, No Return Policy. Sounds weird, but I'll go into detail another time. Another
I
time.
have to leave it at that. That was goddamn fantastic. You left them wanting more. Jen, thank you for making time. Thank you for coming on and talking about music. This has been really fun. And again, congrats to you and keep up the hard work.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I totally, totally appreciate this opportunity. So thank you so much. I had a good time.
That was